What is going on, folks? Welcome back to another video on Electric Talks. Hopefully you guys are having a great day whenever you guys are seeing this video. So as you guys can see, my bike, I just got it prepared because tomorrow I've got quite an interesting day planned. So the last video you guys saw on this channel, I showed you guys behind the scenes of the 10,000 calorie, the 10K challenge that I did for 10 days straight, where I rode 100 miles every day and I did a half marathon every day and ate 10,000 calories every day. So the plan of attack for tomorrow is I'm going to be attempting to eat 10,000 calories and burn 10,000 calories in one bike ride. So originally I actually got this idea because I wanna say about a year ago, I saw a channel that I've been following for probably well over 5 years now, probably actually almost 6 years, called the Global Cycling Network. One of their videos they uploaded, they actually burned 10,000 calories in a bike ride. And so ever since I saw that video, I was like, you know what, that'd be really cool to try to do myself. And one day, maybe I can do it. And so, yeah, I decided that tomorrow's that day. Originally, I wanted to actually just try to bike 250 miles in a day. It's probably gonna be about 1,200 or 1,500 short. But since I'm around that area anyways, I was like, you know what, why not try to eat and burn 10,000 calories in the same bike ride? So it's gonna be insane. I have actually burned 10,000 calories and eaten 10,000 calories in the same day, but that was like a year ago. And that was through running, that was through cycling, that was through a lot of like other things. And I'm really curious to see how it's going to go tomorrow, because I've never tried to do anything like this before. And cycling isn't a super energy intensive exercise. Running is, at least from my standpoint. So tomorrow what I'm gonna be doing is basically going at this in intervals. So I'm gonna do 60-minute intervals. I did ride about 65 miles today just to get a feel for what those intervals are gonna look like. I actually felt pretty good today. So hopefully tomorrow things will go well and they'll go according to plan. I'm also gonna the other part to this that's gonna make it extremely challenging is that I'm gonna have to film myself eating while doing all of this, which is really, really difficult, but that's kind of like what I do. So we'll see what happens. I'm starting tomorrow at around 5:30 a.m. It's gonna be a very long day. So hopefully you guys are in for the journey with me. We'll see what happens. So it's been about an hour or so since I last talked to you guys. I figured I would show you guys like the pre and post time periods to this challenge. Because like one thing that I didn't really see from the Global Cycling Network video was like how they handled the aftermath to burning 10,000 calories in a bike ride. And also didn't really see it before either. So obviously I told you guys that I already went for my bike ride today. And I'm making sure that I'm definitely getting in some protein. Like the night before is really, really crucial when I do these like really intense fitness-based food challenges, just because I really want to make sure that my energy is on point when I start the ride. So I start these rides usually fasted, and then I start fueling usually about 3 to 4 hours into the ride or the run or whatever I'm doing. So what I'm doing tonight is I'm making sure that I'm getting in an iron-rich meal, because I'm going to be depleting my body a lot tomorrow. I really want to make sure that my body has iron in it. I also want to make sure that my body has glycogen in it. So I'll likely have some rice with this meal. I'll be having mixed steak tacos, basically. That's what I'm making right now. And then tonight I'll have some rice cakes, some cereal. I don't want to get too crazy with the calories, obviously, just because I don't want to be too bloated and bogged down when I start my ride tomorrow. So I will show you guys what the meal looks like after I'm done making it. Tomorrow, the games begin. It's time to get started. All right, everybody, so the first 45-minute block is down. It's about 7 a.m.
pretty slow. My goal was to start at about 260 watts for 45 minutes, and I only got about 230. So I'm hoping that after the first few blocks, my legs get warmed up. Sometimes situations, circumstances are not ideal, but you just gotta push through anyways. Got a long ass day ahead of us. Let's fucking move. Yummy. All right, so here's where we're at. 4,822 calories. All right, so 7,150 calories has been burned. I've ridden 182.4 miles. This is where you gotta dig deep. This is where you gotta execute. Oh, man, I can't believe I just did that. So it is the day after, and I'm definitely feeling it, but my bike is definitely feeling it more. Time to clean. Alright, you guys, so this is the this is the recap for this insane challenge that I just did. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the actual challenge part that I put on my main channel. I'm assuming that if you guys are watching this, you most likely watched that challenge or watched that video, so thank you. If you didn't watch it and you're watching this video, maybe go check that out before I go into all of this. It's probably gonna make a lot more sense. Before I get into this, I apologize because my office is currently a mess. I'm in the middle of building a new bike. I'm building a triathlon bike, so I'm really excited about it. So this was when I talk about like my fitness challenges that I do, whether it's a crazy like 40-mile run or a 10, 11, 12, 13 hour bike ride, this was without a doubt the craziest out of all of those things. Like, this took a lot of time to do, but mainly because of the fact that I had to record myself riding a bicycle and eating an absurd amount of food all at the same time myself. I had to ride the bike fast. I had to ride it with power. And I'll go more into that in just a few seconds. But like when I do these challenges, it's, and I could just say like, oh, I'm gonna go out and try to ride 200 miles in a day. It's easier for me. I don't even want to say easier, but there's less I have to focus on. You know, I just have to focus on finishing. And with this challenge, I had to focus on burning 10,000 calories. And then I had to also focus on consuming 10,000 calories during the ride. And also I had to focus on getting all of the shots for everything. So I had to be like my own cameraman. And it's just like, I'm just gonna say this right now. This is most likely the last one of these I'll ever do. It's just, and until I get somebody to like or like a team of people or just one person to go along with me when I do these things, it's just incredibly hard. It's incredibly challenging for me. You know, I like to show people as much as I possibly can that it's important to do physical activity when you consume food like I do on a weekly basis, when you do food challenges. And I should say I have tried so much to get people to know that, but it's clear that it's not something that people are into. Or I shouldn't say that like that. It's clear that a lot of people just aren't into it. So at least for the foreseeable future, I'm not going to be doing any more challenges like that. But now for my other channels, definitely, it's become reinforced to me that my main channel is just for mass food consumption. That's totally fine. Anyways, that being said, I am incredibly proud of the fact that I did what I did, because like I watched, I got the whole idea for this challenge from watching Global Cycling Network. They made a video, I want to say about 2 years ago, where they tried to burn 10,000 calories in a bike ride. And I thought to myself, like, that's insane. I wonder if I could ever do that. And it just like hit me a couple of weeks ago. I was like on a bike ride and I was like, you know what, why not try to do that? But also spin it into a food challenge where I try to eat 10,000 calories. Obviously I didn't eat 10,000 calories. Spoiler alert to those of you who haven't watched the video, but I was able to actually burn 10,000 calories. And the most calories I think I've ever burned on a bike ride, estimated that I burned, was like, I think a little bit less than 7,000. So that extra 3 was like, it was like unfathomable to me. Like I actually went into this just like not expecting to do it. I was expecting to get close, but I was not expecting to be able to do it. So I have to give a huge shout out to my boy Harry. And if you guys don't know Harry Young, who's a really good friend of mine, he's a sponsored triathlete in Australia. He competes in Ironmans. He knows his way around training, and he's the co-host of our podcast together, the Strength to Endure podcast. He gave me a lot of fantastic advice going into this challenge. When you're trying to burn 10,000 calories in a bike ride, you can approach it from the standpoint of going at it slowly and kind of chipping away at it, but staying on the bike for a longer amount of time, or you can approach it from the sense that you want to get it done as quick as possible. Now, the advice that Harry gave me was to try to get it done as quick as, well, he told me to, you know, try to get it done as quick as possible. And from the weeks leading up into this challenge, I've been doing a lot of structured interval workouts. If you guys follow me on Strava, you guys will see, if you go into the actual workout section, like if you go into my rides, instead of just looking at total mileage, you can see where, like, what I do for my actual workouts. So if you follow me on Strava, definitely do that. If you want to just like see what I do interval wise, workout wise, like all that stuff. So what we decided to do for this was actually treat this like a 10-hour workout. Try to burn 10,000 calories in 10 hours. Obviously I didn't burn 10,000 calories in 10 hours. That was my goal. I found out after about 4 hours into it, it was just not going to happen. The intervals that I was going to do for each hour essentially was to hold a power output of between 260 to 270 watts for 45 minutes. And then I would have about 5 minutes of recovery pedaling. I'd drop that 260 to 270 power output down to about whatever it would be, 220, 230, 210, whatever it is. And then I would go into 5 minutes of max effort power output. And then after the max efforts, I would go into 5 minutes of recovery, and then the interval would start again. So 45 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 60. So you multiply that by 10, and essentially you're burning 1,000 calories every hour for 10 hours. So everything was going great up until the 4th hour. Like after hour 4, I was just like, nope, that is not happening anymore. My max, I'll have to, actually I have my numbers right here. The first interval holding 220 watts for 45 minutes, I was like, it's kind of like my warm up. And then my first max effort for 5 minutes, I did 346 watts. And then my effort started increasing. Like I was able to do the second one at 264 for 45 minutes. And then the third effort, I was able to do at 260 watts for 42 minutes. And then it just went from 45 minutes at 240 watts. And then it went from 45 minutes at 209 watts. And then the next 45, I did at 200 watts. And then the next 40 minutes, I did at 211. And it just like gradually started to see my performance just those intervals just became just a big pile of there's just no other way I could say it. So I was like, I had to reformulate a plan. I had to go, I'm not gonna be able to burn 1,000 calories every hour for 10 hours. So I had to kind of rethink my strategy, and I had to formulate a new plan and move forward from there. I knew that this was something that was gonna take much longer than 10 hours. So I had to adapt to what was going on. And there are athletes out there that can do this, that do this, and Harry is one of those, and I'm just not one of those. Regardless, though, as the day went on, I would say that I ate a lot of just ridiculous food. Let's just be honest. Like, no one eats pizza on the bike. No one eats giant donuts. No one, you know, I do those things because it just adds more fun to the video. Like, imagine if I posted the video that I posted on my main channel and I was just eating energy blocks and I was eating goos in Gatorade. No one would care. So it's definitely like, that's the reason why I included those foods. I will say that there are foods like Snickers bars. Like a lot of cyclists drink Coke and Pepsi. I had a payday bar, which was like, I think that was at like hour 12. That literally brought life back into me. I literally felt like I was a new person after I had that payday bar. But I wanted to make that clear to people because I really hope that people that watched that video that had any questions regarding nutrition or the food that I ate will stumble upon this video and realize that, like, I don't eat foods like that if I'm doing large bike rides. Like, it's just, you know, to make the video more watchable and all of that. I did get a few questions on the video that I wanted to clear some things up. The first question is where I got all of the food from. I guess people that don't know cycling don't really know like what cyclists wear. And so when you ride a bike, and I'm just speaking to those people right now, when you ride a bicycle, cyclists generally have jersey pockets in the back, and that's where you keep all of your, whether it's inflation, if you get a flat, if you have like a spare bottle, you can put a water bottle back there. The majority of the time, that's where we keep all of our snacks. And then the next one was where all the trash went, and obviously the trash goes in my pockets. Another person asked, are you sure your power meter is calibrated correctly? Your first section was 6 hours with an average power of 240 watts. Something seems off. I think that when people even when people stumble upon my channel or my videos or whatever, and even if they're cyclists, I think there's just this this mentality that people seem to have where it's not something that they're used to seeing, or somebody does something that they're just like, and to be honest, everyone, I don't really even feel like I'm that good of a cyclist. I don't really feel like I'm that good of a runner. I don't really know what good is because I don't compete. I don't run or bike with anybody else. I do everything by myself, and it is what it is. But so like, obviously this person thinks that something, like, there was something off. My power meter wasn't calibrated correctly. To answer this just really straightforward, I calibrate my power meter pretty often, so I don't really think anything is off. So yeah, I decided had to answer that one. Bro, if you actually gave your donuts to squirrels, you literally endangered their lives. That shit not good for them. Moments after eating this delicious donut, it began to tragically fall apart. So I decided to donate the donut to a nearby pack of squirrels. This person says, you endangered yourself and everyone else on the road. Imagine if you'd started choking. This person's been funny. I think this guy, every single time I post, not even on this channel, this guy likes to find my bike rides and my runs and say the same thing. Plus, you're not even that good of shape to ride all those miles. Nobody believes you. You do all of those cuts while you're doing your videos. Of course, you're taking cuts while you're riding your fake bike. Now we can ride those many miles. Why do you have a car follow you? Stop being so scared. There's no way he did that. Where is the sweat? There. I get these comments pretty much every single time I do videos like this, and I think it all goes back to this mentality that people seem to have, where I think people just have been so conditioned to watch things on the internet for such a long time, and everyone's in this like believe it or don't believe it mentality. I've done so much for such a long time to be like, okay, like showing the time at this time, and I'm showing it from this angle, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and it's like nothing is ever good enough. It is one of those things that I can't really control what people think. It's almost like I think people think that like I'm actually like not riding the bike, and I'm actually just like paying somebody to ride the bike for me, and I jump on the bike and film myself and then have them get off and then go, okay, get back on the bike again, and then have them ride like 6-7 hours, and then I just go and repeat the process, and I just get on and film myself, and it's like it's just like I don't know what to I'm just like I used to get so frustrated about this type of stuff, and then I just realized that people just, it's the same thing with people in like conspiracy theories, you know, like there's just like people out there that just want to believe every conspiracy theory that exists, and that's just the way that that's the way they want to live their life, and that's cool, whatever. But I'm like, at a certain point, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I'm like, do you want me to live stream a 13.5-hour bike ride? Like, I don't know. And it's not even just for like for my bike rides or my runs. It's like, do you want me to live stream a 24-hour food challenge to make sure that that all my food challenges are legit? It's like I don't like, nothing is ever good enough. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I'm just like, oh. But anyways, folks, I talked about earlier in the video how Global Cycling Network, like they showed the 10,000 calorie burn challenge, but they didn't really show like the aftermath. And to be honest, I wasn't really like, I feel like I felt as bad as I did after I finished my 40-mile run that I did. When you do these things, it's like your body is so like, it's so used to moving for like being in motion for so many hours that it's just like the next day, all I can say is that I feel like it's just this like I want to say it's like a hangover, but it's like your body's just like, it just doesn't think. I feel like I'm like intoxicated. I just feel like everything moves so much slower. Like from a psychological sense, that's just what I'm used to experiencing. The next day, what I did was I went for about an hour and a half, 2-hour walk, just to get the blood flowing again. And I did a lot of mobility work, my stretching. I kind of just moved on. I actually bounced back really, really quickly because, so comparing this to a 50-mile run versus riding my bike 261 miles, the recovery is going to be much harder for me doing the run than it is on the bike ride. Mainly because of the fact that when you're running for such a long time, your joints are taking much more of a beating than riding a bike for a stupid amount of time. I'm proud of myself for being able to ride. This is the longest ride I've ever done in my life. I'm stoked that I did that. You know, I just want to just show you guys some love. If you guys have stuck around to watch this video up into this point, I appreciate you. I'm trying to get more content out on this channel. I'm incredibly I'm in a million different directions right now with training, but I definitely want to do more videos on this channel. And if you guys like this style of this video, the before and then the commentary up until now, and just me showing you guys a little bit more behind the scenes, let me know down below in the comments, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next Electric Talks video. Later.